Recording in progress.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I just wanted to say thank you all for being on the call tonight. We've got a wonderful call scheduled. Can y'all hear me? I just wanted to make sure. Can y'all hear me? Drop it in the chat if you can. And if you can see me, also drop that in the chat. Just making sure. How many fingers do I have? Perfect. Awesome. Yes. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. Thank you guys so much for being on the call. You guys are leaders. You're here right now. We have a weekly call. You're here. You got on the call. Greatly appreciate that. We are going to keep it tight tonight and kind of go faster. Couple things that are kind of housekeeping items. If you minted your NFT before the end of the month, you're still in profit sharing. Congratulations. Just wanted to say congratulations to that. If you have not done it yet, or someone on your team has not done it yet, they're going to give us until the 5th to do that and square that away. So if you haven't done that yet, if you follow the YouTube link to the letter, or if you're doing it on a phone, that would be the way there. We just had the purge as well. With regards to the purge, any of the people that had the free sign up, these were all in the corporate email. But what's really exciting about that is you're still here. A little bit of compression, never hurt anybody. It's exciting to be in something like this so early. There will be hiccups as time goes on, but we are way ahead of the game with all of what we've got. I don't know if y'all were on the training that we had on Tuesday, but the Tuesday training that Marty Hale did, if you have bought your package and you made it to that training, that was phenomenal. If you've not been on a training yet, will you go ahead and drop a 5 in the comments? Because we got to get you on a training. That was one of the best trainings I've ever been a part of. If I spent $350 to go to that training once, it's completely changed the way I did business this week. It's going to change the way that I've done business. We'll be scheduling a training here, give or take like a few days, and it's going to be phenomenal. And Marty's doing another one on Tuesday. That being said, I want to just dive into my portion of this. I wanted to talk a little bit about my why tonight. I have been in this industry before and I did really well, and it was really cool to be a part of everything. And I ended up getting out of that and started focusing on real estate. I got married. I had 4 kids pretty fast, total of 5. Did really good with regards to real estate and trading in the markets. And I got kind of fat and happy, for lack of a better word. And I stopped dreaming. I just stopped focusing on me and focusing on bigger things. And I was just, I guess, comfortably complacent. And so all of a sudden, a guy comes back into my life, Peyton Parnag. He comes back into my life. My standards raise. I start losing weight. I start being better, like without doing too much, just the people you surround yourself with. And one thing leads to another. I start dreaming again. He presents me with an opportunity. He built the relationship first. I almost recruited myself into his organization. He got me dreaming again. I was uncomfortable with mediocrity after that point, and I was blown away by how far I guess I slipped, because time passed and I was raising my kids. And so when this opportunity presented itself, I ran for it. I jumped at the chance, and I'm grateful that I'm here now. And I'm so excited about the future and what's coming ahead. One of the things I wanted to talk about tonight that I guess is close to my heart is your timing in this. The code report just came out. The trainers, the trainings, seeing just a scope of what's to come, seeing the Penny app, the leads that we have that Peyton could talk a little bit about, as all the components are coming together for this. It blows me away that the opportunity for every one of you on the call tonight and for the people that you care about is infinite. If you wanted to make $1 million a month, the work would be quite a bit of effort. It might take a little bit of time, but you could do something that big. If you wanted to do something much smaller, you could do that. Literally anything in between. And so not so much training tonight from me, but more so a little bit about my why and a little bit about what's possible for you and just sharing excitement. But I'm going to go ahead and introduce the guy that got me my dream back. And he's got such phenomenal content tonight. So I want to pass it to Peyton now. I'm going to mute myself out.
Thanks, Kevin. Audio good? Audio's good. All right. Well, awesome. I'm always just so grateful. Like Kevin and I, go way back, and we always joke we're like kind of a package deal at this point. And one of the things that we thought about is that it's like really there's so much design that goes into building an organization, right? And it's like it's at the end of the day, it is just people, and it is just Active Greens, right? I've got a little stick of Active Greens right here, but it's so much more than that. And one of the things that the conversation that we started to have is it's like, at some point, and everybody has a different journey, right? And in the path of entrepreneurship, at least something that I experienced is like, there's so much time and energy that goes into figuring out like, can I even make it? Right? Like doubt. Like one of the great sayings that Dan always talks about is he said, the problem is that people basically doubt their beliefs and believe their doubts. And so what does he mean by that? Right? And he says, you might look at a business like this, or you might look at an opportunity and you might say, okay, I believe I could do it. And then, one day you wake up and you start to doubt that belief. And then you start to believe that doubt. And suddenly you start telling yourself like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if it can happen for me. And so in the path of running your own business, especially like a 1099 sales organization or 1099 real estate business or whatever, it's like, first there's kind of that moment of like, can I even make it? And that can mean many really different things for different people. That can mean, making your first sale, like selling your first bag of greens. That can mean, achieving your first rank. That could be becoming area influencer, area trainer, right? It's like, that could mean making your first $10,000. That could mean making your first $10,000 a month. That could mean your first six-figure year, right? Like all of us have different meanings that kind of attribute to that. But at some point you think to yourself, okay, and a lot of that is I centric. A lot of that is basically, okay, can I, take care of myself? Can I grow the thing I want to have? And then it's like pretty soon it evolves from that. And the conversation that Kevin and I had so much, we said, okay, well, what do we want to do for the rest of, the next decade or the next 2 decades or whatever, right? Like we're all here for a short amount of time. We have the opportunity to have some wonderful, things in our lives, and we will hopefully have a dream. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, but it's like, what do you want to do? And the reason that I'm kind of bringing this up is because one of the things that we said, if we're going to do this for the long game, and it's that we want to run a call every single week, no matter what. And we decided let's run it on Sunday night. And Sunday night is such a unique time. And the reason that we chose this time is, and the intentionality behind it is basically most of the time people have a lot of enjoyment in their weekend. And a lot of times there are people that are, sometimes there's going to be people that work with us that have amazing opportunities in front of them and that have, a passion for their careers or for their jobs or whatever. But more often than not, it's dissatisfied people that really are going to be the backbone of the organization. It's the people that are looking for more, right? And I'm so happy that Kevin said that, because as we discussed our whys all week and stuff like that, it's you can have a material why. I hope to, put my kids in a better house, or I hope to move into a better zip code, or I hope to take a better vacation, or I hope to have a better item, right? And it's like, but even deeper than that is that there's a burning desire within everybody that is going to do something significant with us to have it better, to have more, right? And that can look 100 different ways. But the idea basically is that if I could achieve this, have this, move here, experience this, live this way, I will feel better in the having of that. And it's that burning desire that really unites us together to go and create something of significance. So Sunday night was deliberate because it's like the weekend is really enjoyable for many people. And it's also the moment that everybody confronts the work that maybe that they don't want to do. Maybe people have fulfilling work, but they're not getting paid what they feel like they're worth. Maybe people are getting paid what they feel like they're worth, but the work is just grueling, right? It's not worth it. And so to really start off the week, every single week, from this perspective, from this place, to set the intentions for the week, to get our mindset right, this has all been by design. And so hopefully that's valuable as we grow this call, is just kind of understand that it's like, it's more than just rah-rah, right? It's philosophy, it's intent, it's glue to build cohesion in this group. And now what we've learned is that the company has absolutely phenomenal training tools for us to learn exactly how to teach the newest influencers in our group to grow exactly how to get somebody started, and then for us to become trainers and to be able to go ahead and continuously train new individuals. So this call is going to be more about philosophy. And even though we've had a couple of them, I just felt like that was really important to kind of go into. So I don't have a ton tonight, but there's just a couple bullet points that I wrote down real quick. And these are things that I'm thinking about on a constant basis. You know, I've talked about it before, but we're 6 weeks into the build now, and maybe 7 weeks. And it's such an illusion, because when you build an organization like that, we have to have a perspective of time. So that's the first thing to really kind of take into consideration, is that there's the perspective of time as far as how much time is actually getting allocated into the business. So on a daily and weekly basis, as you're out there building, there's two things that have to happen. The first thing is you have to think about, okay, how am I going to allocate the time that I need to build this? And honestly, I have a belief that if you become very effective with your time, you can build this business in an hour a day. 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. As your team starts to grow and that team starts to become hundreds and thousands, then it's going to require more than an hour, because it's going to require more training and it's going to be getting people started. But the perspective of time is that sometimes it can feel like we're doing so much in the business, but we have to take an inventory of what it is that we're actually doing. And we have to ask ourselves the question, are we talking about the business with people that are already part of it? Or are we doing the thing that grows the business, right? And one of two things will happen, is that you can either get the perspective of saying, hey, I need to put more energy into the income producing activities, which is retailing the product and recruiting influencers. Or if you're maybe not quite getting the result that you want yet, but you look at the calendar and say, hey, look, I'm planting seeds, I'm sharing product, I'm sharing the presentation, I'm getting people started, I'm putting them through the training, then you know you're doing the right things, and that you know that your allocation of time is appropriate. It's just a matter of how long you have to endure for it to start to create the growth that you want. And so that's the part where I want to say, one of our early mentors used to say that network marketing time or home-based business time is like dog years. And just realize we've only been at this for less than 60 days. Even if you were at the launch in Park City, we've only been at this for like about 45 to 52 days. And it's like, well, if we want to start talking about a dream, which is kind of what I'm going to talk about here, is that a dream, something that lights us up inside, the idea of a worthy ideal, a pinnacle, a vision for more, how long should it take to achieve that before getting discouraged? How long should it take to achieve that before wondering if you're on the right path? Should it take 60 days? Should it take 6 months? Should it take 6 years? Right? And having a perspective of time is just a really, really valuable tool that you can offer yourself, because I promise you, you're human, I'm human, discouragement is inevitable. So the next thing that we're going to kind of go into here is that this week there's a wonderful networker by the name of Joe Garcia, and it was his birthday. And Joe Garcia has been absolutely instrumental in helping massive amounts of people generate and accomplish their dream. And if you look at and see everything that he trains on, everything that he talks about, he has one point all the time. Every question that is ever asked of him, everything that's ever wondered about, he says, have you taken the time to fall in love with your dream? And so think for a moment of what falling in love feels like. Hopefully everybody has had the opportunity to fall in love in this lifetime, right? And it's like you fall in love and you're smitten, you desire the person, you desire everything about them, nothing that they can do is wrong. You start to think about, you know, all the wonderful experiences that you have, the wonderful things that you could do together. You just want to milk every moment together, right? And it's like you're stretching out nights and you're waking up early and you're running on no sleep and you're just enamored. And it's like every next thought is just what could become and what could happen. And so the question is, and the goal is basically, have you taken the time to fall in love with your dream? And it's like to nurture that dream and to foster it and to imagine what it'll feel like and to smell it and taste, touch, and feel it and to think about how magnificent it'll be and what that's actually going to mean. And, you know, that dream can be so many different things to different people. And it's like, sometimes I feel like, I'm like, just that feeling of having a check that's predictable every single month, that's bigger than what life costs, freedom on the 15th, like we get paid on the 10th here, freedom on the 10th. I'm like, oh my gosh, that could mean $10,000 a month for one person. It could mean $100,000 a month for the next person. It could mean $1,000 extra a month for the next person. But my gosh, what would that feel like? What would it feel like to have that funds deposited? What would it feel like to start seeing those credit cards that the balances have been carried for too long to go to zero? What would it feel like to be able to not have to worry about the transmission in the car breaking down, right? What would it feel like to have the ability to think to yourself, you know what? I really want to go on a trip this month, let's go to Hawaii. Here's a package for a couple $1,000. Here's a couple $1,000 in airfare. Let's put all the kids on the plane. Let's go. And to have an extra $5,000 to pay for it up front and to go and to know that that check is going to get there another time next month, your check's going to get there on the 10th, and to not have to put it on the credit card and wonder and cross the fingers and think like, we'll make it up somehow, right? Like all of these things, it's that dream. What is that going to feel like inside? And to fall completely in love with that. And if we do that, the truth is then it's just easy. It's easy to talk to people. It's easy to share the product. It's easy to hear the no's. It's easy to have the people that stand you up when they're supposed to look at something and they tell you not to, right? Everything else becomes easy because when you know what your dream is and you've fallen in love with it and you can touch it and taste it and feel it, then the dream will become a reality of yours every single time. So if you haven't yet, spend more time developing your dream and fall in love with your dream. And then the next thing that I wanted to really talk about is these are the last two things. And so I want to talk about the idea of duplication. So if you've been working the business so far and you could, kind of based off of what we know about our organizations, your group could be anywhere from, you alone or dozens of people or hundreds of people, or in a couple of cases, 1,000 or so people, right? That's about the size of the businesses that have grown so far for this. And sometimes we will sit there, and this goes right along with time, but we will look at that organization and maybe our matrix pay came through and maybe you made $16 in the matrix for, the month of August or whatever. And maybe you're looking at that and you're thinking to yourself, how on earth is this going to pay for my dream? And you have to go back and you have to start thinking about the potential of duplication. Everybody always talks about duplication and they say, okay, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And that's absolutely part of duplication. But think about it this way, is that if you can learn how to enroll one person a month, so you sponsor one new person a month, you have them come in, they come in on the greens, they come in for the training, they get trained, they do the whole 9 yards. And then you duplicate that every month, which means that on month 1, you enroll a new person. On month 2, you enroll another person and your first person enrolls their first person. On month 3, you enroll a new person. Your person from month 2 enrolls one person. Your person from month 1 enrolls a person. Your person that was enrolled by them enrolls a person. And the other person enrolls a person, right? So you start to see this. One person per month duplicated for 12 months will put you at a 6-figure monthly income in almost any program, including this one. Let me say that again. One person enrolled every single month for 12 consecutive months, duplicate it down by month will put you at $100,000 a month in this plan. And it seems so inconceivable that that could really be the truth. And so what do we have to do in order to make something like that happen? Well, the first thing that we have to do is we have to figure out how can we be responsible for enrolling our one new active distributor qualified influencer each and every month and getting them trained, right? Because you can't really expect to get duplication if people are not getting engaged and getting trained, right? But it's like, so what is that going to take? And now that we have your dream and now that you have that math, it comes down to, okay, what daily and weekly activities am I going to take in order to guarantee that I'm able to sponsor my one person a month? Or what if you wanted to go faster? You don't have to go faster. All you have to do is do 1 a week. Or what if you did 2 a week, right? That possibility is there. And so there are many, many different ways to build your pipeline, right? So the pipeline is basically people that you're bringing in to have look at. And again, remember that what you're really inviting people to do is you're having them look at the business. You're having them look at what Active Greens is. You're having them look at what AAO is. You're having them look at what the 5 non-negotiables are and what that could do for them. And you're inviting them to be a part of it, right? Not selling them, not convincing them. You're just saying, hey, this is the plan. This is what we could do. Do you have a dream, right? And helping those people get enrolled. So what we know is that it's probably that you're going to have to invite 10 people to have 5 people look at the program. You're probably going to have 5 people look at the program in order to enroll 1 or 2. And you're probably going to have to enroll a couple of people for every one person that you really want to have get engaged in the program and say, yes, this is the right time in my life right now. Yes, I have a little bit of extra time per week that I can commit to this. Yes, I can go through the training. Yes, I can get started duplicating my 1 per month or 1 per week, right? I can get my 3 in the first 30 days. And once you understand that, then the question just becomes, am I in love with my dream enough that tomorrow or 5 days this week for 15 minutes at a time for an hour a day, that I could do what it takes to invite the people so that they can look at the thing, so that I can roll my 1 per week, or I can roll my 1 per month, so that I can duplicate that out for 12 months, so that 12 months from today, when we're having this call, we're hearing not only just about the concept of a dream, but we're hearing what your dream was and what it's like to wake up and live that in October of 2023, right? Because absolutely 100%, there's going to be people on this call that are living their dream in a year from now and sooner, right? And so the last thing that I want to follow up with is that as we're out there building, there's a couple things that you have to know. And one of those is following up. So you'll hear about follow-up, 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 follow-up. The most effective way to follow up. Have you ever, for example, I'll just throw this out there, but have you ever, had somebody that you showed some information to and they looked at some information, they said, wow, it sounds pretty good. And you're like, well, cool. Are you ready to get started? And they're like, oh, I might not be ready to get started. Or like, oh, let me think about it. Or, hey, I need to talk to my spouse. Or, hey, I need to wait to get paid, or any of those different things. And you feel like, okay, well, they haven't said no, but they haven't said yes. And I don't really know exactly what to do, but I don't want to pester them, but I don't want to drop the ball, right? And so when I learned this to me in this type of business is the very, very best type of follow-up that exists. Once you've gone through the process, you've invited somebody to try the product, you've invited them to look at the plan, you've invited them to get started, they've seen the different enrollment options, and basically they've said either not right now or yeah, but down the road, you're going to put them on your weekly follow-up list. And when you follow up with them, all that you're going to say is you're going to say, hey, I just wanted to give you a quick update. This could be by voice message. This could be a text. The voice messages work really, really well for this, whether you're using Facebook Messenger or whether you're using text. But the voice message say, hey, just wanted to give you a quick update since we last talked. And then this is the thing is you tell them something authentic to you that's happened. So if you have nobody in your business, but you've been taking the product every day and you have a testimonial about the product, you can say, hey, I just wanted to give you a quick update since we last talked. I've been taking the product every single day and you wouldn't believe what happened for me. Or you can just give them an update on what's happened in your business. Say, hey, since we last talked, I just want to give you an update. I have had a couple new customers enroll and I've gotten a couple new teammates started and I've actually become profitable, right? And this is so vital is that you always want to lean on something that's true to you. And if you feel like you have nothing to share, you can share the updates that are happening in the company. You say, hey, I just wanted to give you a quick update. Since we last talked, the company had the first 2 ever qualified influencer trainings and people were raving about them. They were even better than any of us could imagine. So what you want to take into consideration is that, of course, you think about falling in love with your dream. You think about, becoming better. You think about putting the hour a day or the 5 hours a week or the 2 hours a day or whatever the time commitment that you have in the business is. Then you start thinking about duplication, 1 a month or 1 a week, and duplicate that down. That's going to create your dream. And now you think about the last piece of the puzzle is that your goal is to build an active follow-up list that on a weekly basis, you can give an update of whatever's happening for you in the business. It can be about your product experience. It can be about what's happening in your business. It can be something that's happening in the company. It's, as events start to happen, you say, hey, I just wanted to drop in, give you a quick update. We have our first regional training happening in Park City. I'm so excited to be there. Let me know if we can touch base, whatever the case is. And it makes it non-pressure. And so that's really everything that I wanted to cover tonight. Hopefully it's super valuable. The last thing I want to say is that congratulations. Last week, we had 2 individuals. So I ran a little promo. I said, hey, anybody that can self-address and put 2 sticks of active greens in 10 envelopes and get them ready to mail out. I had a first place and a second place. First place was basically a bag of product and a shirt of their choice. Second place was a bag of product. And by Tuesday, we had 2 people win the promo. And second place was our good friend Shaylee, and first place was our good friend Elise. So if you guys are on the call right now, or if you're thinking about that, if you've taken the energy to send out a bunch of links, or you've taken the energy to send out a bunch of product and you're not sure what to do next, this would be a great week to say, hey, just wanted to give you a quick update. I hope you got your sample in the mail. Since we last talked, because you had to ask for their address probably, right? Since we last talked, we've had the first 2 qualified influencer trainings in the company and things are going really well. Can't wait to hear what you think. And that's a process that every single one of us can get into. So with that, I want to be done. Thank you guys so much. Kevin, if you want to jump back in, that's it.
Thank you so much, Peyton. I appreciate it. That was really good. For you guys, I wanted to share a couple of things. I was talking to our owner and founder, Dan Putnam, last night. We were having a conversation. He texted me and he's like, hey, I just sent the code report. It should make it a lot easier for people to go to qualified influencer, for people to go to regional and area. It'll show you in your code like who has bought as an area, or who has bought the training, and if they've been to a training. It has all of that in there in the code report. So if you're wondering, hey, who should I work with, who's close to this rank or that rank, as you're going towards regional, you're going to want to have a certain amount of area influencers in your team. You're going to want to have a certain amount of qualified influencers, and it'll show you more or less how close you are. So that is such a valuable tool. Piggybacking on a little thing Peyton had said, and then finishing the Dan conversation. One of the things Dan was saying is Latin America is getting very close. This is the week that we think the apps will be released. So we're hopeful, anticipating that that will happen. Commissions run on the 10th. And then the last piece, I was talking to Dan and I said to him, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I feel like I was so focused on active greens in the beginning, and active greens, and I led with the product, I led with the product video, and I was so focused on active greens. And after I saw the training on Tuesday, I was so fired up about the training. I thought, we're doing it wrong. We need everybody to attend a training. We need everyone to be qualified influencers. If they haven't upgraded, we need to get them upgraded. We need to get more people in that. And so the mindset, taking everything Peyton had said and adding one little thing to it, to me, the list is the most profound thing you could do after this call. There's something magic about a pen touching paper and your eyes seeing what was in your mind outside of you. It's a powerful memory jogger. I can't tell you how many times I wrote a new list, and as I wrote a new list, I got one of these people randomly texts me out of thin air that I haven't talked to in forever, or somebody leaves me a message or something like that. But when I write a list, something powerful that I get out of the list is it jogs my memory of other people. And then I'm the type of person that once I see it, I want to accomplish it. So when I make a list, I almost get more joy checking off the boxes on the list, that if you take the actual act, I know we live in a digital era and you can go into your contacts and all that, but there's something magic about getting a pen and a paper and making a list. So I have taken what Peyton had said and I started working on my follow-up list while he was talking, and I got excited about the follow-up list. But for mindset going into this week, as you're going into this week, I'd challenge you to make a list and then contact the people on the list, make a follow-up list, go back through your texts and your messages and start over again. My mind and my heart are taking tonight to revamp. I spent all day cleaning my house. Tomorrow is the first day of me in the business. I'm starting over. I'm recommitting. I'm presenting the business the way that it's presented on tomorrow's opportunity call. If you have people that you can get on the opportunity call that are either on the fence or they've seen the product video, maybe they've seen a Zoom, if you get them on the opportunity call tomorrow, they'll probably be enrolled. That's going to be a phenomenal call at 7 with Marty. So I'm building for that call. I've been using the other call from the week before, but my mind and heart are recommitting tonight to start over fresh as if tomorrow was my first day in the business. I'll be remaking my list. I'll be rewriting my reason as to why I'm doing this in my dream. And I will be re-engaging as if I started over. Yes, I've talked to a bunch of people. A bunch of people have said yes. A bunch of people have said no. I personally probably have talked to 200 to 300 people. I sponsored 53 personally. After compression, I have 31 people that are personally sponsored. The last day of the month, I spent almost all day on the phone reaching out to people, trying to get people to place an order. And I thought, this new month is a new day. And I want my dream so bad. And so I will leave you with my dream. When COVID happened 2 years ago, I work in real estate. It was the busiest year I'd ever had. So much divorce. No one talked about that. When a person divorces in real estate, they're selling one home and usually buying two. And so you do phenomenal in the real estate aspect of everything. And I'm busy, busy, busy. But then the mask stuff starts to happen, the disinformation, the polarization. And I thought, I just want to move away. And my income is geographically tied to Utah. I can't leave. I will leave my income. I'll leave what I built, what I worked for. And I thought, I don't feel like much of a man right now. I don't feel like I could protect my family or I could provide for my family because I'm stuck here. We have some of the worst air quality in the world in the wintertime in the state of Utah. I want to be somewhere where I have clean air. I want to have a well, so I'm not dependent on city water. And I can't afford that in my current lifestyle. I want to have the self-sustaining ability to grow my own food and provide for my family, that no matter what is happening in the world, that I can be my own man and protect my family and be a person that like provides for them. And so my world changed 2 years ago, and I got disturbed and I thought, I don't have the dream that I thought I had. All I ever wanted in life was to be a dad and a husband. I never cared about the money. I never cared about what I did for work, but something changed in me a couple of years ago, and I wanted something different. And the desire and the dream that I had to have income that paid me wherever I was, so my area wasn't tied to Utah, just in case, that inner decision drew Peyton Parnick to me, and we hadn't talked in a decade. And he didn't reach out to me about the business. We just became connected because of happenstance. So there's power in your dream. There's power in your why. If you could take today and start over in your business and recommit now that we're in a new phase, I believe that there's nothing standing in your way if your dream is big enough, and $1 million a month is possible, and anything in between. So thank you guys for being on the call. We will always have this call at 8 o'clock on Sunday nights. It'll be there, rain or shine, no matter what, holidays, that kind of thing, unless you otherwise hear. So tell everybody, make sure, let's build this call. Let's build our business. Let's have a phenomenal week this week. Thank you guys so much for being on the call. And I hope you guys have a great night tonight. I'm going to figure out how to stop the